welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Rhonda Wardlaw. At the United States Naval Academy, one of the few co-ed club sports is the Navy pistol team, where both men and women handle small caliber weapons. They're small caliber, but they're weapons, and because of their knowledge of these weapons, are currently ranked 3rd nationally. Joining me now, a woman who, well, packs a heat of her own, is Kathy. Kathy, it's so nice to have you with us. Coach Callahan, you know, I was able to not only go and see some of the competition, I was actually there a day that they were competing. I never saw so much focus in my life coming out of such a large group of people. Talk to me a little bit about what you have to be inside before you can be on that pistol team.
Well, it does require a large amount of focus because they're shooting one-handed and they are shooting at a target where the maximum score value is about the size, the scoring ring is about the size of the end of your pinky finger,
Wow.
the 10 ring.
Yeah.
So they have to deliver a shot, and they have to be very still and focused and calm and focused to do that.
You know, and it's an amazing thing to watch because it is a sport, and you know, the first thing you're thinking of is you want to go, oh my gosh, when those cards come back and you see how, you know, well they've done, but it stays very focused throughout the whole thing. Talk to me as a coach, how do they get that feeling of accomplishment from the people who are watching?
The feeling of accomplishment?
Mm-hmm. I mean, because you can't really applaud out loud and make any noise in between. And talk to me about that feedback, I guess, from the
Sure. The sport itself is very individualistic.
Okay.
A lot like, say, golf or track or swimming, where the person competes as an individual. They're on the line at their firing position and they're doing their sequence of preparation for each shot. And when they're part of their focus is not to focus on the outcome or the score, but to focus on the process while they're delivering the shot. So they generally don't really think about the outcome or the score until afterwards, and then they can have all the pleasure and attention at that point.
And what is that called, the card that comes back with their shots?
Their target?
Okay, their target.
Their target.
And if you could just walk us through, I know that the men and the women, while they compete in some of the same categories, they also compete individually, and only women and only men. Could you break that down?
Well, there are 2 events. The events that the Navy pistol team shoots are called international, and those are the Olympic events.
Okay.
Now, in the Olympics, men and women compete in separate categories, so they're not allowed to compete as a co-ed or against each other. But at our level, and the collegiate level in the United States, they can compete shoulder to shoulder, and women can compete just as well at the same level or better than men. So, however, there are 2 Olympic events, women's sport and women's air pistol, which are women's only. So those events at the collegiate level are shot by women. And the other 3 events, the open events, are free pistol, standard pistol, and open air pistol. Women's air pistol is a 40-shot event. Open air pistol is a 60-shot event.
And when you say that, let me interrupt. They obviously then have 40 to 60 shots. Is there a time period on those?
For the 40 shots for the women's portion, they have to complete those 40 shots in 1 hour and 25 minutes. And in the open event, they have to complete those 60 shots in 1 hour and 45 minutes. So they do have a time limit, but those events are described as precision. So they have an indefinite amount of time to deliver each shot, and they can do it at their own speed. Perfect score, 60 shots, would be 600. No one has ever shot a perfect score. But at the international level, Olympic level, the open scores go up into the probably low 90s, high 580s, which means out of 60 shots, those people probably miss the 10 ring 12 to 15 times out of 60. That's very, very good. And for women, the U.S. national record is 399.
Crazy.
But most of the top women in the United States shoot around 380. So it requires a lot of focus and precision to be able to do that time after time after time. So it takes a lot of physical conditioning to be able to stand in one place for an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 45 minutes and do the same process over and over and over again and get a good result.
Coach Callahan, that is an amazing thought, because I'm always thinking of like upper body strength so that this doesn't happen, or but just to have that posture and be able to stand. Talk to me about what kind of training, because obviously there needs to be some conditioning training. And
well, we have a limited amount of time on our range during their club sport period in the afternoon. So they are responsible for doing their own conditioning on their own time, and they do work together. Quite often they will pair up with different teammates and work out in the morning or in the afternoon. So they do need to develop and stay physically conditioned, not only because the academy requires it, but because their sport requires it.
Well, and I keep making a mistake as I'm watching Kathy. I'm thinking to myself, it isn't like this, because when I was at the competition, it's single-handed.
Correct.
So again, you just add one more element of difficulty to what they're already accomplishing. Wow. It's never fair to talk about standouts, but yet I always put the coach on that place to talk about some of maybe your seniors that are standouts. I know that you just recently got back from nationals.
Correct.
If we could talk a little bit about perhaps some of those standouts in the competition.
My team captain earned All-American this year, honorable mention in standard pistol, his first All-American award, so he was very proud of that. The ladies did very, very well. I had 5 women qualify to go to nationals, and all 5 of them earned All-American award in air pistol. And the senior 4, or the elder 4, also made All-American in sport pistol. And because of their performance through the season and their performance at national championships, they won the women's air pistol team competition, they won the women's sport pistol team competition, and Navy shooters were also individual champions in both those events. So they ended up being national champions for the women's events.
That's so exciting. Now, how do you walk away from something like that? You know, I mean, will they go on and continue this? Obviously, it's going to be helpful as an officer in the United States Navy. But talk to me about some of the other characteristics of pistol that go with them.
Well, one of the things that I try to instill in them is a concept called mental management.
Okay.
It's a term coined by an Olympic rifle shooter named Lanny Basham, and it's a behavioral technique that includes positive thought, visualizing the task that you're performing, all the steps of it, staying focused, and there are several different skill levels that are involved in it. But it's a concept that I try to have them use in everything they do. And if they want to improve their grades or improve their, they say they want to get a better grade on their physical fitness exam, or if they want to prepare for a triathlon. I've had different midshipmen use this process to do those things and be successful with it. So it's a life skill that I think that they take with them as they go into the fleet and become officers.
Outstanding, and something that they can then hand on to the next generation.
Wow. Yes, it's a way of looking at something, approaching it from a positive aspect rather than looking at something and saying, "Oh, I failed," or I'm not doing well. This is what I need to do to improve.
Absolutely.
So I try. That's our whole focus as far as getting mentally ready to shoot.
And getting mentally ready for other things. If I'm correct, the hierarchy of the pistol team goes on to compete in the Junior Olympics. Is that correct?
Well, Junior Olympics is one of the aspects that we do have with the team. The Naval Academy does host the Maryland State Junior Olympics, And part of that is to give my team, my junior members, the people who are 20 years and under,
Okay.
an opportunity to compete in that competition, but also to encourage it among juniors statewide. So I've seen an upward trend in the number of juniors participating, civilian high school students who are participating in that competition. Many of them are also qualified to go and earn invitations to go to the national championships, which will be occurring next week. So I have two freshman midshipmen who will be competing at the Junior Olympics, a young man and a young lady, and we'll be leaving Monday to go to Colorado Springs to the Olympic Training Center where the championship will be held. So
exciting. And we'll make sure that we post the outcome of that on www.annapolis.gov under residents for local information. You'll see Navy Club Sports. Now, when they come out of these types of situations, do you ever use this as a recruiting tool? I mean, when you go to these various competitions as a coach?
I will, but when I talk to young people who are interested in it, I have to be frank with them and say that if they come to the Naval Academy, they have to want to be naval officers. That's their first requirement. They shouldn't come to the Naval Academy just to shoot, because that's a small portion of their life at the Naval Academy, and they have to understand that their main goal is to become naval officers. So in that way, I can't be very aggressive as a recruiter, but if people are interested in it, I'm very happy to explain what life is like at the Academy, and having midshipmen with me, they can talk to them in any interested individual one-on-one and explain what life is like at the Academy.
But you would also know this firsthand.
I enlisted in the Navy in 1974, and I came to the Naval Academy Band in '75, and I retired in 2000, so I had 25 years with the band. And it was wonderful. It was a fantastic career, so I can't ever say anything bad about that.
No.
It was an opportunity to make music.
Yes, and now make a difference in some other young person's life.
Yes, and I do enjoy coaching the midshipmen. They're wonderful people. I've made lots of lasting friendships with the young people and their parents.
I'll bet. If someone's watching would like more information on the Pistol Team, where could we send them?
They can contact me at my Navy website, not my website, my email. It is Kathy, K-A-T-H-Y, at USNA.edu.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
And good luck in the future.
Thank you.